in the sunshine city of Portmore, here's your morning news.
Good morning, you're tuned into the Suncity News Center here on 104.9 FM. It's now time for our morning news and sports update. I'm Jada Francis. Coming up in the news this morning on the local scene, 6-year-old among two children killed in St. Catherine crash, several hospitalized. Woman in custody over fatal stabbing in Trelawney. Jamaica to host the OAS Policy Forum on Resilience Building in Tourism. On the regional scene, relief package for Bermuda. On the international scene, 3 dead in Indiana mall shooting. Witness kills gunman. And flooding woes in China. And in sports, Fraser Price makes it 5 and Jamaica completes clean sweep. News in detail right after this. Now the news in detail. A 6-year-old is among 2 children who died from crash-related injuries in a mass casualty road tragedy on a Saturday. Reports were that 11 people were involved in the 2-vehicle crash, including at least 4 children. 2 children were transferred to the Bustamante Hospital for Children and an adult to the Kingston Public Hospital. It is believed that several of the crash victims sustained severe brain injuries and fractures, according to acting senior medical officer of the health at Spanish Town Hospital, Dr. St. Clair Clark, in a Jamaica Gleaner report on Sunday morning. Clark said that he was alerted to the mass casualty by accident and emergency unit staff around 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. Reports were that the crash occurred sometime around 5:15 p.m. along the Old Harbour Main Road in the vicinity of Macook's Pen, St. Catherine. According to Commander of the St. Catherine North Police Division, Dwayne Wellington, in the Jamaica Gleaner, there was a 2012 Toyota Wish with 9 people aboard and a 2012 Nissan AD wagon with 2 people, which were traveling in opposite directions when the driver of the Wish reportedly sought to execute an overtake when the crash occurred. The road was said to be wet. A woman is dead and another in police custody following a fatal shooting in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. The deceased was identified as Tamara Thompson of Bag City in Cooper's Pen. According to the police, about 6 p.m. on Saturday, Thompson and another woman were involved in a heated argument, and Thompson was stabbed during the exchange. The police were summoned and she was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The other woman was taken into custody. Investigations are still ongoing in the incident. Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has announced that Jamaica will host a high-level policy forum of the Organization of American States, OAS, this week to focus on safeguarding the region's tourism sector from disruptions, including a looming recession. In emphasizing the significance of the meeting, which is to run from July 20 to 21, Bartlett said it relates primarily to building resilience among the small and medium-sized tourism enterprises, SMTEs, to withstand disaster and external shocks. Bartlett also said the capacity building initiative will go a far way as the government seeks to future-proof the sector from an impending recession and other future shocks that the industry may face. In stressing that the Caribbean's dependency on tourism is impatient of any discussion with regards to the need for this kind of resilience building, the tourism minister said if the SMTEs are not able to manage the looming recession, the tourism industry will feel the full effects. Bartlett said SMTEs represent 80% of the stakeholders of the industry. Meanwhile, he added that the OAS meeting will provide tools to the countries that are under its umbrella to help them better manage disruptions, including those of the climatic and economic type. The event is in collaboration with the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, CHTA. Minister Bartlett further stated that the 2-day meeting will showcase Jamaica as being one of the countries that have done extremely well in preparing its stakeholders for disasters as per the pandemic, among other things. He said it will entail discussions on issues such as the barriers and challenges facing small tourism enterprises, crisis communication, business continuity planning tools, and the establishment of community energy emergency response teams, CERT. The tourism minister outlined that the high-level discussion is being sponsored by the OAS with the support of the United States of America and will see numerous countries being represented at the event, which will be held at the Holiday Inn in Montego Bay. Bartlett was recently elected chairman of the OAS Inter-American Committee on Tourism, CITUR. The meeting of the high-level delegates this week is one of the first items on his agenda during his chairmanship. You're listening to Morning News on Suncity 104.9 FM. The time is now 7 minutes after 7, and we continue with the regional news. Premier David Burt unveiled a U.S. $15 million economic relief package in Parliament on Friday to help Bermuda's working families hit by rising prices. Burt, who is also Minister of Finance, said financial support will be given to people with children in public schools, and LED light bulbs will be sought by the government and handed out to households to reduce energy bills. Payroll tax rebates are expected to be offered to 75% of the island's workforce, and more money will be made available to help cover food costs for families in receipt of financial assistance. Burt said the relief package was made possible by a controversial travel authorization form, which tourists and locals have to fill in before arrival on the island at a cost of $40. The form, which initially cost travelers $75, generated an estimated $14 million for government coffers last year and is budgeted to bring in some $22 million during the current financial year. Opposition party legislators have called for it to be scrapped. On the international scene, 3 people were fatally shot and 2 injured on Sunday evening at an Indiana mall after a man with a rifle opened fire in a food court and an armed civilian shot and killed him, according to the police. According to Greenwood Police Department Chief Jim Eisen, the man entered the Greenwood Park Mall with a rifle and several magazines of ammunition and began firing in the food court. An armed civilian killed the man. He reported that in total 4 people were killed and 2 were injured. Officers went to the mall at about 6 p.m. for reports of the shooting. Authorities were searching the mall for any other victims, but they believe the shooting was contained to the food court. The police said that they have confiscated a suspicious backpack that was in a bathroom near the food court. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police have multiple other agencies are assisting in the investigation. Indianapolis Assistant Chief of Police said there is no active threat to the area. Greenwood is a south suburb of Indianapolis with a population of about 60,000 people. Mayor Mark Myers asked for prayers to the victims and their first responders. Also, on the international scene, state media reported on Sunday that flash floods in southwest and northwest China have left at least a dozen dead and put thousands of others in harm's way. In the southwestern province of Sichuan, at least 6 people have died and another 12 are missing after torrential rain triggered flash floods, according to state-owned news outlet CGTN. Some 1,300 people have been evacuated as of Saturday, according to the report. Meanwhile, in Longnan City, in the northwestern province of Gansu, another 6 people were reported, and 3,000 have been evacuated. Rainfall in 1.5 days was as much as 3.9 inches in the worst affected areas almost double the July average. The rains come amid a heat wave in parts of the country, including eastern Zhejiang province and the city of Shanghai, with temperatures soaring as high as 42 degrees Celsius last week. Experts say such extreme weather events are becoming more likely because of climate change. Warmer air can store more water, leading to bigger cloudbursts when it's released. The flooding adds to economic woes brought on partly by stringent zero COVID measures restricting travel and disrupting supply chains. In news and sports, Jamaica's Reggae Girls were beaten 3-0 by Canada in CONCACAF. In news and sports, Jamaica completed a sweep of the medals in the women's 100 meters at the World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon, with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price claiming her fifth title in the event. Fraser-Price clocked a championship record of 10.67 seconds to claim the gold ahead of teammate Sharika Jackson 10.73 and Elaine Thompson-Era at 10.81. The Jamaicans were favorites to complete the first ever sweep in a women's 100-meter race in the history of the World Championships. The race was one for the history books, with 7 of the 8 women crossing the line below 11 seconds. Great Britain's Dina Asher-Smith was fourth in a national record of 10.83 seconds, while Switzerland's Moshinga Kambunji was fifth in at 10.91 seconds. The United States, Aliyah Hobbs 10.92 seconds, and Cote d'Ivoire Marie-José Talou 10.93, and the United States Melissa Jefferson 11.03 seconds rounded out the field. Also in sports, Reggae Girls hunt third place at CONCACAF Championships. The Reggae Girls coach Lorna Donaldson is hopeful leading striker Khadija Shaw will be available for the team's third place playoff match against Costa Rica at the CONCACAF's Women's Championship taking place in Monterrey, Mexico today at 6 p.m. Shaw, who has scored 3 goals and provided assists in 3 matches, did not start in the team's last match, the semifinals against Canada, with the coach staff citing fatigue of players. However, Donaldson is hoping the Manchester City star, who is key to their attack, is in a good state to face the Costa Ricans. The girls still have an opportunity to add Olympic qualifications to their back-to-back World Cup qualification success, but must first beat Costa Rica for third today to set a date with the runner-up of the competition to play off for the other CONCACAF spot. According to Donaldson, the aim is to top off their World Cup qualification with another success story. Defending champions United States play Olympic champions Canada in the tournament final at 9 p.m. The winners will qualify automatically for the Olympics. And now for your weather forecast. There's a low-level jet stream across Jamaica and the Central Caribbean. The low-level jet stream is expected to remain across the island throughout today. Thereafter, a tropical wave is then expected to move across Jamaica on till Tuesday. Expect partly cloudy and hazy conditions this morning. Kingston is expected to be mostly sunny with a maximum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. Spanish Town is also expected to be mostly sunny this morning with a maximum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. And right here in the Sunshine City of Portmore, you can expect a mostly sunny morning with a maximum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. Now to end this newscast, we take a look at the main stories once more. On the local scene, 6-year-old among 2 children killed in St. Catherine crash, several hospitalized. Woman in custody over fatal stabbing in Trelawney. Jamaica to host OAS Policy Forum on Resilience building in tourism. On the regional scene, relief package announced for Bermuda. On the international scene, 3 dead in Indiana mall shooting, witness kills gunman, and flooding woes in China. And in sports, Fraser Price makes it 5, Jamaica completes clean sweep. And that's it for news and sports from the Suncity News Center at this time. Do join us again at midday for more news on this station. Please remember to follow us on all our socials on Instagram and Twitter. Look for us at Suncity104.9 FM and on Facebook at Suncity Radio104.9 FM. I'm Jada Francis from the Suncity News Center. Stay tuned for more right here on this station.
That was the morning news on the Suncity Morning Show.
In a world of price increases, isn't it good that there is a place to escape? Shop on credit at Singer and get furniture, appliances, and electronics on a payment plan that you can afford. Get 4 months for cash, 9 months no interest, or